dirty. And we do have... Wow!
Oh no!
You gotta be kidding
Oh
me.
my goodness!
The two best drivers in 2025 have claimed the front row. This is a story that came from qualifying. And today we will see if we're going to see another dominant performance from either of them, or we're going to see a brand new winner or a shock winner. This is the first race at Willow Springs, so let's give the fans something to remember. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 21 of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series. Welcome to the Persona 4 Revival Grand Prix of California at Willow Springs. Hello everybody, my name is Alex Navitale, and as I stated during qualifying, the two best drivers in terms of wins and performances, because right now the best driver right now overall is Guillermo Vidal, because he's currently leading the championship, and it's something big happen. Unless something big happens in these next two races, I feel like Vidal has the regular season championship in the bag. I mean, he's only got 8 points from Crown, but Model has performed a little bit better than Crown recently, so I don't doubt the Polish driver is going to win the regular season. So yeah, but outside of that, yeah, the two best drivers, the two winningest drivers, should I say more? That would be more accurate. The two winningest drivers have claimed front row here at Willow Springs. The first ever race at Willow Springs, as we stated, pretty much the entire time, both in qualifying and just now. And Finguy is searching for his 5th win, and very likely, truly, really for real, clinching is locking up his spot in the playoffs, while Stapleton is searching for his 4th win and bringing the win discourse back in on equal grounds with Finguy. And right now, considering his recent performances, he won at Mexico City and he finished 3rd at Road America and looked like he was going to win until the miracle run of Angel Gutierrez. Right now, I feel Stapleton is a little bit more advantaged than Finguy, but this is a track that is notorious for really good racing, but also for some pretty big moments, mainly the crashes, especially at the entrance of pit, especially cars crashing into the pit wall entry. Now, of course, we are no strangers to big crashes. One big example would be Trey Bardo a couple of years ago, if not even last year, at Watkins Glen, flipping at the exit of the final corner and into the main straight, and also people crashing into the pit wall entry at Watkins Glen as well. But we were. Let's hope we're not gonna get any kind of crashes like that here for today's race. And I mean, it's really not gonna matter because there's no cautions as per Nomier. So let's hope that this crash, if it does happen, let's hope that it does not involve a lot of drivers, or at least that it does not involve a championship contender. And speaking of championship contender, let's check the standings after the race of Chicago coming into this race, as we are 2 races away from the beginning of the playoffs. We got Willow Springs here, which is also the second to last road course race of the calendar before Watkins Glen, and then we got Dover. Yeah, we did not make the regular season finale any easier for these drivers with a road course they've never been at and Dover, and we all know how much of a beast Dover is. But yeah, right now, if the playoffs started now, Guillermo Vidal, Robert Crown Jr., Zane Davidson, Nathan Stapleton, Andrew Williams, Jeffrey Finguy, Philip Torres, Troy Williams Jr., Leonard Koshmar, and Zachary Fitzwater will make it onto the playoffs through the top 10 for points alone, while Reggie Fogelman and Bryce Egan will be the 2 drivers that would have to rely on wildcard spots to make it into the playoffs. And while I said Finguy could potentially clinch the championship, despite saying that Finguy, if he wins it, it's very likely that he's going to clinch excluding Finguy, the battle for that top 10 for the final 4 spot, for the bottom 5 of the top, for the second half of the top 10 is pretty tight. I mean, just to mention, Lara Koshman and Zachary Fitzwater and managed to boot off Tom Sloan and Richie Fogelman out of the top 10, thanks to the good results they had at Chicagoland. And also part of the wildcards battle, the wildcard battle is wild, no pun intended, because Bryce Egan right now, sure, he's got 2 wins to his name, but the distance between 16th and 20th, which is the last spot where you could realistically be in through the wins, which is currently occupied by Gutierrez, is pretty tight. So a bad result could spell disaster for Bryce Egan, and those 2 wins could matter absolutely nothing at the end. If Egan cannot provide in the clutch in these last 2 races. But yeah, this is the current playoff situation. With 2 races coming, 2 races left in the regular season, and now I think we should start the race.
Drivers, start your engines!
The command has been given. These drivers were on the track any second now. Here they are. As for qualifying, Nathan Stapleton and Jeffrey Finguy, the 2 winningest drivers in 2025, have locked up the front row. Third will be Danny Johnson, 4th will be Andrew Williams, then will be Philip Torres, Tom Sloan, Jonathan Harrison, Alexander Rowe, Leonard Koshmar, and Ryan Little rounding out the top 10. "26 laps ahead await the drivers." Of course, as we also stated, we're qualifying Willow Springs, a track that is used a lot in the NRscape, mainly as the stand-in for Sonoma Raceway, because it provides the better racing. And of course, shout out to AG and all the people that used to run races in the old NSFRL, which also I think includes Elijah Gordon, I think, and Nathan Stapleton as well. And also Matt Tuck, I think also, yeah, he did the Body Armor Cup series. So, yeah, shoutouts to all of them. But in the meantime, the pace car is going to pull into the pits. Nathan Stapleton and Jeffrey Finguy will lead us to the green flag. And green flag is in the air. We're away at Willow Springs. Finguy already takes the lead of the operations as Stapleton is gonna deal with Bob Johnson and Andrew Williams. Stapleton looks to be defending. Laura Williams is still there. It goes into the uphill section. Williams is still there, side by side between the 82 and the 79, although Williams now looks to be taking this place. Still cannot clear the 79 car. Almost felt like they were going to touch. And now Finguy is starting to pull away as now Williams finally clears Stapleton. Stapleton has lost 2 places, now dropped down to 3rd. And of course Finguy is starting to pull away. Johnson then is behind them in 5th. Then is Philip Torres, Tom Sloan, Jonathan Harrison, Koshma, Alexander Rowe, and Ryan Little. As Jeffrey Finguy is going to complete the first ever lap in anger here at Willow Springs, followed by Andrew Williams and Stapleton. There is Danny Johnson, then Torres, Sloan, Harrison, Koshmar, Rowe, and Little running up the top 10. There's Gutierrez, our latest winner at a road course. There goes Little on the inside of Alexander Rowe. He's going to use a decision from Rowe, and it takes it, and that might allow Gutierrez in. He's gonna use the momentum to take the place. This is for 10th. This is for top 10 spot as road goes wide. Somebody really went off the track. You said there's some skid marks. But there we go. Gutierrez goes past Rowe, and now Momadel almost made contact with Rowe as there are more skid marks. Momadel almost made contact with Rowe. But Rowe is going to defend. There's Torres side by side with Tom Sloan. And Torres is going to make that one pretty easy. Yes, he does. And then Sloan goes a little bit wide. And now Carrington is going to take advantage of that. Maybe Koshmar as well. There's Gutierrez out on the inside of Little. Into one as Carrington goes through Sloan. And Gutierrez is going to take short notice of Little and possibly even Koshmar on a double overtake. He's struggling with Koshmar a little bit. But Gutierrez has cleared Little. There we go, you cleared Little. Now Gutierrez on the inside of Koshmar, which now becomes the outside. Koshmar is not giving in as Williams is slowly catching in to Jeffrey Finguy. As you saw there, now Gutierrez can complete the pass to Koshmar, and Little saw an opportunity. Same opportunity that was seen by Alexander Rowe. They're now side by side into the big sweeper here. But Little is going to defend from Alexander Rowe. In the meantime, Williams has managed to catch up to Jeffrey Finguy, so right now we might have a battle for the lead here on lap 4. Johnson is in 4th, then is Torres, Carrison, Sloan, Gutierrez. Now once again dealing with Koshmar. Koshmar has the inside line, and he manages to clear the 45 car. The Serbian/Hungarian driver. I still have no idea. I think he's actually Hungarian, but still. I think it's both Hungarian and Serbian, but in the meantime, I think it's Hungarian. Leonard, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But in the meantime, Williams has pretty much caught on to Jeffrey Finguy, so we finally have the battle for the lead as Torres goes on the inside of Johnson right there. He's still in the background. But right now, Finguy has a bit of a safety gap as Torres is going to make short notice of the Aegis driver. In fact, he does. Torres up into 4th place as Finguy completes lap number 4 and begins lap number 5. Okay, let's check out this one right there. Ooh, Carson Miller is out of the race. So Carson Miller is out of the race. He'll be the first one out. And ooh, there's Bryce Egan. Bryce Egan is down in 39th place, which is now dead last, basically. As now we got a battle for the lead, side by side between Williams and Finguy. And Williams look like he's going to have it. Finguy, of course, is a tough SOB. Apologies for that, but that's what it is. One tough customer, should I say more? There we go. That's the more family-friendly version. But Williams looks like he's gotten it. Williams and Finguy still there, but now we're gonna go down the hill into the big sweeper, and Williams got it. I want to say, but Finguy's still there. No, Williams got it. No, Andrew Williams is going to lead the Persona for the Rumble Grand Prix of California. But of course, Finguy is still there, so this is not over yet. In the meantime, Johnson is well positioned to both Sloan and Harrison, as Koshmar and Gutierrez are still battling with each other for what would be 8th place. And Koshmar looks like he's gotten it. Yes, he does. Can Koshmar clear the 45 car? Not yet, no. At least not now. Gutierrez is gonna hold on. And now Little might take advantage of that. In fact, he does. Gutierrez looks to have passed the 99 car. He did. Now Little's gonna take advantage of the momentum to see if he can make the overtake. Uphill they go, and maybe that's because the skid marks, that's where Miller crashed, I would assume. And now even Alexander Rowe might take a piece of that pie, and Little clears. Little clears. Look at his Koshmar. Now Rowe is going to try and take advantage of that. And right behind him is another Chevrolet in Guillermo Vidal. But Koshmar is actually, but Rowe is too far away to turn overtake. Koshmar is going to shut the door on him. And now Williams looks like he's going to looks like he's pulling away from Finguy. So the rules are being reversed right now. And incidentally, Stapleton looks like he's going to catch up to Finguy. 6 tenths between Williams and Finguy, but of course it's just lap 7. This is very early in the race, so anything can still happen. As we look at the rear of the field, there is Roberto Crown Jr., there's Avery Alford, there's Justin Paris, there's Joshua Neely, there's Bruno Di Giacomo, there's Trilliums Jr., who had that amazing second place at, I think actually at the top 3 finish at Road America. Now he is down in 19th place, dealing with Di Giacomo and Roger Vogelman. Himself also winner for the Bristol. Ooh! Somebody's gone off. There's Gutierrez! Gutierrez has gone off. Gutierrez has gone off at the uphill section. I have no idea what happened. Possibly either contact or just misjudged it. But Gutierrez has just wasted all that effort in one go. As Perez deals with Alford, is going to make it easy. Yes, it does clear him. As Neely clears Gutierrez. So all that effort from Gutierrez gone wasted. And of course, the thing that is running on his mind is how damaged is that car, and of course if you can keep going being fast, or that will be it for the remainder of the race. But in the meantime, let's check out the rear of the field. It's still Bryce Egan and William Ayers. Then is Ali Anderson Jr. with some damage to her car, as is Brendan Beal. And it's Duncan Wood, and that's Charlie Davenport. Davenport has blown an engine. And we got our second DNF of the race. That PS Motorsports car is going to pull into the pits. And we got our second DNF for today. He joins Carson Miller. And that's day over for Charlie Davenport. In the meantime, there's Gutierrez dealing with Neely in what should hopefully be a recovery drive for the winner at Road America. And he clears the 57 car. Yes, he does. And Gutierrez now has got Avery Alford in his sights. But in the meantime, the gap between Williams and Finguy is somewhat stabilized between 5 and 6 tenths. So right now it looks like that pit stops are probably going to decide what's going to happen next in the race. And in fact, there's Torres in 4th, there's Sloan in 5th, there's Carrison, then it's Johnson, Little, Koshmar, and Rowe. And behind them is Guillermo Vidal. Guillermo Vidal that is never going to gain some points in the... Actually not that many points, because Crown is right behind them. He's only got the car of Zane Davidson between. He's got the car of Zane Davidson between themselves. As Brady Ream enters the pits, and either I would assume that's for a scheduled stop or for a major undercut, but I would assume it's for an undercut. Actually, I would assume for an unscheduled pit stop. So lots of dramas here at Willow Springs. And oh no, never mind. Actually, they are pitting. They are indeed pitting right now. Danny Johnson and Derry Alford. So this is a major. This is going to be a major undercut from these guys. So pit stops have opened. Pit stops have indeed opened. Now we have to see if the leaders are going through with that. There's Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson with the pits. Let's go back up front. Let's see if the leaders are actually going to pit. We're on lap number 10, about to complete lap number 10 and start lap number 11. And yep, they're pitting. Andrew Williams is pitting. So is Finguy and Stapleton. Torres, Sloan, and Carries are going to continue. All of these three guys are going to pit. So a lot of different strategies coming from the pack. And now Monaco enters the pits. So does Samadaskin. Of course, let's focus on where is Andrew Williams. Tires and fuel for all these guys. And let's see who's going to win this battle off of pit road. And it looks to be Williams by a large margin. The second would be Finguy, and then it would be Stapleton. So let's go back and check out Torres. I would assume now they are going to be the next drivers to pit. As Torres, Sloan, and Carrison is the current top three. I would assume they would have to pit as well. I would assume that they're going to be the next to pit. They have to pit. I would assume if they're going to pit in pit in this lap. And the answer happens to be yes. At least Torres does. Sloan keeps going for one more lap. Carrison dives into the pits, as does Little, Koshmar, Rowe, Crown, Davidson, Gutierrez, DiGiacomo, Neely, Beal, Nicole, and Beal Evans, Nicole, Keys, and of course the rest of the field. So right now, I think Tom Sloan and Gary Morvidale are now first and second. But at this point, they should be the next drivers to pit. Let's see if the overcut will actually work for them. There is Justin Perez in third. Perez also has to pit. There's Finguy and Williams. These two who are separated by Avery Alford. In the meantime, there's Gutierrez leaving the pits, as is Ali Anderson Jr. And is Sloan going to pit? And the answer is going to be yes, he does. Sloan in the pits. Does Moedel follow through? Yes, so does Perez. And of course, the other drivers that didn't pit before. And nobody crashed except for Ayers, but I'm pretty sure Ayers was one of the drivers that pitted early alongside Johnson. So not a problem. So not a major problem from William Ayers. And that should effectively mean, now that they're cycling out, that Andrew Williams is back in the lead of the Persona 4 Roller Grand Prix of California. Let's see. And yeah, that's basically it. So right now, Andrew Williams is back in the lead of the virtual lead of the Persona 4 Roller Grand Prix of California. Then is going to be Avery Alford and Jeffrey Finguy. Great pit stop from Division Motorsport boys. As now Finguy makes short notice of Alford on the outside. As they're climbing up the what is the Budweiser building, but now it's the PSRLA building. Again, thanks to Bruno Wilmington for giving me the track. In the meantime, then it's Zachary Fitzwater and Nathan Stapleton. Zachary Fitzwater, who looks pretty battered up, so yeah. As is Kalasastrai. And who else? No, just these two guys at least right now. But in the meantime, there is Neely on the inside of Sloan, but Sloan is going to shut the door on him. There's Koshmar dealing with fellow Chevrolet manufacturer mate in for Nicole, and Nicole actually completely misses the exit of completely misses the exit of the corner. He's going to lose 2 spots to both Koshmar and Crown, and now he's going to watch himself from Alexander Rowe. As now Koshmar looks to now has to defend from Willow Springs. Junior Crown goes on the inside of Koshmar. Maybe double overtake. Koshmar has been dealt with. Let's see if Crown can pull a double overtake with Davidson. And the answer appears to be yes. In fact, it is. Double overtake from Willow Springs Jr. And now Koshmar is going to take advantage of the momentum to overtake the Solaritas driver. And there he goes. Larry Koshmar up into what would be 12th place. That would be 12th place. But in the meantime, Andrew Williams and Jeffrey Finguy are still the top dogs here at Willow Springs. In fact, the gap has decreased. Now it's 8 tenths between these two, and almost 3 seconds is the gap between Finguy and the other pair in Alfred and Stapleton are currently fighting each other. So right now, unless something major happens, the battle for the win is going to be between these two, and this is the second race in a row that Finguy is involved in a battle for the lead. After last week at Chicagoland, that time was with Koshmar. Koshmar, with Movidel, I'm sorry, Gary Movidel. As Movidel is glued to the rear of Joshua Neely, this for Joshua Neely, as Rowe is glued to the rear of Movidel. So right now, nothing big. There goes Movidel on a teaming move on the outside of Neely, but he thinks better of it. And now Rowe actually is going to take advantage of that, but Gutierrez, Movidel actually is going to shut the door. Rowe is going to force the issue, and it's going to be double overtake contact between Neely and Rowe, and Rowe is going to make a double overtake on the sweeper, and Ooh, no, okay. So these guys are going to do. So these guys don't have enough fuel to stop. They're going to make 2 stops instead of 1. Okay. Now that is indeed interesting. This race could potentially be flipped on its head. As we come with 11 laps to go, Finguy has pretty much caught up to, Andrew Williams. But the problem is, how long will these two guys go before they have to do their second stop? As you saw there is Nathan Stapleton quite far behind second place Finguy. But are they going to pit? And the answer is no. They're gonna do one more lap. As is Stapleton. There's Jack Haas, who I assume he's a lap down. But Alfred is actually going to dive into the pits. Alfred dives, and nobody's going to follow him right now. Yeah, right now Haas is the only lap car of the field. As we got a bit of a mosh pit here between Sostry, Little, Sloan, and Crown Jr. Side by side between Little and Sloan is going to defend the position, and Little actually looks like he's going to lose another one from Crown. This for 8th place. Little is still gonna be there. Into the Ford Budweiser building they go. And Crown clears the 79 car. So Ryan Little is losing a spot and looks like he's going to lose yet another one. This time to have a Koshmar. To another Chevrolet. But in the meantime, let's check out the leaders real quick. Are they going to pit? And the answer is no, they're going to go one more lap. As Duncan Ward and William Ayers get into the pits. Let's focus here for this battle. There is this Sloan and Sashrai. Sloan is going to make it short notice, but Sashrai is going to pull into the pits. While the rest does not. As Little is dealing with the two Chevrolets of Koshmar and the Crown. And battle moment between Koshmar and Duncan Ward. But now Little has cleared Duncan Ward, but no, he pretty much messes his trajectory. That's going to allow Koshmar through. In fact, there you go. Little is going to lose this battle between both Chevrolets. And right now, Finguy has got to deal with the Ford of Bradley Ream. As Stapleton is slowly catching up to them. Actually, at least to Finguy he is. But now let's see if they're going to pit. Let's focus on Andrew Williams. Are they going to pit? No, doesn't look like it. So either they have enough fuel to make it, or all these guys are just pitting because to fix some damage. But in the meantime, the gap is basically 1 second between Stapleton and Finguy. Finguy who's still dealing with Bradley Ream. Bradley Ream that is basically being the best friend of Andrew Williams. And just as I say that, looks like Finguy is going to clear the other Menard's car. And up they go. And Finguy still there, dealing with the left car of Ream. And Finguy should have it. Not yet. They're still side by side. And of course, this is great news for Andrew Williams, who can use that to pull away from the 41 car. And now Finguy finally manages to clear the 25. And now Finguy can use Ream as an advantage against Stapleton right behind them. But no, this guy's actually not going to pit, so I would assume that at least these three have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. Of course, we will see what the tires are going to say. Only 2/10 is the gap between Williams and Finguy. Finguy is searching for his 5th win of the season, his second in a row. And of course, to clinch his spot and to effectively lock his spot in the playoffs. But Bradley Ream is still there, and looks like he's not going to make it any easy for Finguy. I mean, just because these guys are fourth doesn't mean that they have to help each other. Especially if the guy's lap car, but still. There's Movidel, Alexander Rowe, Ryan Little, Duncan Ward, Koshmar, Brookroom Jr. And there's Finguy. Is still cannot try right now. Is a bit too far away. Williams has a bit of a safety gap, as Rowe looks to be making Stapleton go through easier than he did with Finguy. And now, never mind, they're actually going to pit. Finally, they're going to pit. The top 3 pits. So does Torres. Carrison continues through. Yes, he does. So let's focus on these 3. Haas goes through, but Haas slapped down. Sloan continues. He's on the lead lap. So right now Carrison and the 2 able cars of Carrison and Sloan are first and second. Of course, tires and fuels for these guys with 5 laps to go here at Willow Springs. And there goes Williams. Second is going to be Finguy. Let's see if there's going to be any trouble rejoining the track. No, it doesn't look like it. Ooh. Battle moment between Ayers and Williams. There is, as now Williams lets Ayers through. He doesn't want any kind of trouble, especially this close to the end of the race with all 5 laps to go, and with the Finguy that has shown to be pretty fast today, even on a road course. Well, I say that, but I'm pretty sure Finguy did win a road course. I think he won the Race to Troy Riviera, if I remember correctly. He did win the Race to Troy Riviera pretty convincingly. So let's say Williams has all the reasons to be afraid of losing too much time to Finguy, or wasting too much time behind Ayers and allowing Finguy to get through. And now, of course, Carrison enters the pits. Sloan continues for one more lap, as now he's going to deal with the lap cars of Jack Haas and Bryce Egan. Pretty disastrous race for Bryce Egan, and of course that's going to complicate his situation in the playoffs. Because right now Richard Fogelman is in third, but Richard Fogelman has to pit. As now Finguy has to watch himself from Avery Alford. Alford is like pretty much is now glued to the rear of the 41 Durrani car. Let's see if Alford is going to try anything. This time now. But in the meantime, let's go up front to Tom Sloan, the current leader, who I assume is going to pit now. And in fact, he does not. Sloan continues for one more lap. So do Morvidal and Fogelman. They will continue for one more lap, as does Troy Williams Jr., but not Justin Perez. And now Finguy has pulled a big safety gap from Alford. Of course, both these guys are waiting for Sloan to move out of Sloan and all these other guys that haven't pitted yet to pit, so they can actually fight for the win of the race. Although right now, Williams has got a 2-second gap from Finguy. So Finguy right now has only 4 laps left before. Has only 4 laps to essentially close this gap. As we focus once again on Tom Sloan and what should be his pit stop entry. Let's see, and in fact he does pull into the pits. So does Morvidal and Fogelman, and so does no. Troy Williams Jr. continues on. So Troy Williams continues for one more lap. But now let's check up the gap between Williams and Finguy, and the gap should be only basically 1 second between the checker flag number 82 and the Durrani number 41. But the thing is, does Troy Williams Jr. have enough fuel or enough life in his tires to actually pull the upset and then win the race that he really should have won at Road America? Or it's going to be an affair between these two guys? There's only 3 laps to go here, or 2.5 laps to go. Let's see if Troy Williams Jr. is going to have enough to make it to the end, or I will have to pit. For the sweeper he goes. And let's see, and No, he does not have enough fuel to make it to the end, so the battle for the lead is going to be between these two guys. And maybe even Ellie Alford should be able to catch up. But in the meantime, as Andrew Williams crosses the line, 2 laps to go, and only 3/10 separates the number 82 to number 41. Finguy is searching for his 5th win of the season and his 2nd in a row. And yes, William Ayers is going to be probably going to be a factor on that, probably. Uphill they go. So Williams now has pretty much has the objective to clear Ayers as quickly as possible. And hopefully that Ayers is going to impede Finguy as much as possible. Now we got 2 laps to go. There goes Finguy. Finguy tried for a timid move on the outside of the sweeper, but fought better of it. But the 41 is glued to the rear of the Chevrolet number 82. And this is going to be a really close battle. Coming to the line, it's going to be 1 lap to go. White flag. One lap to go here at Willow Springs, and this other Finguy tried on the inside of Williams, and they're going to both clear Ayers relatively easily. At least Williams managed to do actually, no, it didn't. Now Ayers looks like to be exactly what Williams wanted, and being a nuisance to Jeffrey Finguy. But no, Finguy manages to clear. Now they're still side by side. Finguy is still dealing with Ayers, and that is exactly what Andrew Williams wanted. And now he's got a big gap from Finguy, so at this point, this should be it. This should be it for the win. Jeffrey Finguy is not going to gain his 5th win of the season. And Andrew Williams, 1 quarter to go. And into the main straight and across the line. And Andrew Williams will win the Persona 4 Rival Grand Prix of California. And even though he didn't win, this should be more than a good result to effectively lock his spot in the playoffs for Finguy. 3rd will be Avery Alford, his 2nd third place in a row after Chicagoland. 4th will be Philip Torres, a finally good result for the number 6 car. That'll be Jonathan Carrison, is Finguy's teammate in Zachary Fitzwater, will finish in 5th. That is Nathan Stapleton finishing in 7th. That is Rucon Jr. in 8th. Then is Tom Sloan, and then is Gary Modell in 10th. So I'm going to assume that both Finguy and Ayers are going to have some exchange awards after the race. But the day belongs to Andrew Williams, who I believe... no, this is officially his 1st win of the season. And it came right at the end of the regular season. But maybe better late than ever, I suppose. But yeah, that was actually a really good race. So, and we didn't have any crashes. So both my hopes have been realized. I mean, we did have a crash, but it wasn't. It was the big one at the pit wall entry, like I was fearing, because we have to watch. Because of course we will watch the crash of Miller in replays. But yeah, and of course Charlie Davenport exploded the engine. But regardless, as Williams settles into his pit box, confirmation that Andrew Williams has won the Persona 4 Rival Grand Prix of California. 2nd will be Jeffrey Finguy, a great effort from the 41 car and the defending champion. Almost made it 2 in a row. but unfortunately wasn't meant to be thanks to William Ayers. Then will be Avery Alford in third, Philip Torres will be in fourth, then it's Fitzwater, Carrison, Stapleton, Crown, Sloan, and Movadell rounding up the top 10. And then we got Samanowski with a camshaft problem, possibly at the very end. Then we got William Ayers, Jack Haas, and Skeletor, all lap cars. And of course, we got Charlie Davenport and Carson Miller, our DNFs, alongside Samanowski. Oh boy, so yeah, we wanted a good race without major crashes, and we got just that. So, I mean, there's really nothing else to be said. This was a great race, and this was a great race with a dramatic finish, and I'm pretty sure Finguy would have loved to win the race the same way he did when at Chicagoland with a last lap pass, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be because of William Ayers. But still, good result for the defending champion, and of course, major shout out to Andrew Williams, who finally puts his car into victory lane. And that effectively means that all cars, bar Andrew Williams, all checkered flag cars, bar Andrew Williams, have stood at least once on victory lane. So, unfortunately, Troy Williams Jr. still has one road course to make it happen, that being Willow Springs. And if you go by what happened last year, something wild might happen. So, yeah, let's hope for Troy Williams Jr. to finally claim his first win of the season. But yeah, this was an amazing race, and I have nothing else to say about it. But I actually do have something to say, but that's not about the race. It's about the championship. So let's check out the standings after the race. And we're back here at Willow Springs for the Persona 4 Roble Grand Prix of California that has just finished. As for the championship standings, Gary Modell remains leader of the championship, but now has lost 2 points from Crown Jr., only 6 points between each other. Third is Andrew Williams, who jumps up 2 places thanks to the win. Fourth is Zane Davidson. Fifth is Nathan Stapleton. Then it's Jeffrey Finguy, Philip Torres, Troy Williams Jr., Zachary Fitzwater, and Jonathan Carrison rounding up the top 10. And the biggest losers have looked to be both Ali Anderson Jr. and Leonard Koshmar, who lost 2 spots each. Koshmar is now 11th and out of the playoffs entirely because no wins, and Ali Anderson Jr., who is now in 16th. And the biggest loser is Bernardo Oliveira, but Bernardo Oliveira is not racing anymore, so never mind. Well, the biggest winners in terms of standings is Alexander Rowe, Kelly Sostry, and Avery Alford, who all jump 3 places. Now Alford is in 14th, then Kelly Sostry is now in 21st, and Alexander Rowe is up in 37th. But yeah, that was the Persona 4 the Grand Prix of the first ever race, the first PSRLA race at Willow Springs, and yeah, that was a really good race. So I expected a good race, and I got one, and I hoped to not have any kind of crashes, and we didn't get either of those. So as I said, it's a win-win. So yeah, there's nothing else to be said here. So because of that, let me wrap this one up by saying this has been a special presentation of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series 45% Network. I'm Alex Vitale, and see you next week for the regular season finale at Dover Motor Speedway. So long, everybody, from Willow Springs. Return again to Andrew Williams.